Hey guys, so I just want to apologize for it taking so long from my last video to this one. I haven't really had time to actually sit down and do it. I also apologize for no makeup. My prom is actually on Saturday, so I'm trying to let my face chill out so it doesn't break out and stuff. Okay, so this video is going to pretty much be about my story, and then I'm also going to give advice because I've had a lot of questions about how I got the courage to be open about everything and exactly what has happened. So yeah. Okay, so my story. So from kindergarten to 5th grade I went to the same school. So I had a bunch of friends, and I was really comfortable around everyone, around the teachers. I was really close with everyone. And in 6th grade, I moved to a different school, and I was there for 2 weeks, and that was horrible. And then I moved to the school I'm at now, or the school district I'm at now. And I started there in 6th grade, and I had no friends. I had one friend. And I just didn't fit in with everyone, and I was pretty much different than everyone. I've pretty much always been different than everyone, and so 6th grade I started getting depressed because sorry, I got sidetracked there. I started getting depressed, and so yeah. So 7th grade, I started to cut, and I hid it for a long time from everyone. And then 9th grade, or 8th grade, I actually made a friend. I made quite a few friends actually, but I usually kept everything a secret, and I didn't really talk about anything. And then 9th grade came, and that was probably one of the hardest years for me, 9th and 10th grade. And so I had really bad anxiety along with depression, and I was cutting, and eventually as it got worse, it took more cuts to make me feel any better. And I would stay up, I couldn't sleep, I had insomnia, I still have it. So I didn't get any sleep, and I couldn't do anything. It was hard for me to go to school and everything. I missed a lot of school in 9th grade. Actually, because my mom would go to take me to school, and I could not walk in the door. I would have an anxiety attack trying to walk in the door, and I couldn't do it. So I missed a lot of school, and my anxiety was horrible. I would lay in bed at night, and I would cry, and I'd cut, and I'd just not want to be here. And I would, at the time, I would pray that I wouldn't wake up in the morning. And so it was a really, really hard time for me. And one day my anxiety was really bad, horrible, and I had an anxiety attack, and it lasted for 3 hours, and I would pass out, and then I'd come to, and it was horrible. But I would hide my cuts. I used to cut on my thigh, and then I started on my wrist then I did both on my thigh and my wrist. And yeah, but I had an anxiety attack for 3 hours, and my mom kept wanting to take me to the hospital, but at the time my mom didn't know I cut, and so I was hiding it, and I knew that if I went to the doctor she would find out. So I refused to go to the doctor, and I'd sit here, and she tried. It was horrible. It was horrible. She tried everything to calm me down, and I just kept getting worked up and kept getting worked up. And my little sisters, they saw me at that point in time in my life, and they shouldn't have had to see me like that. But I eventually went to the hospital, and it was horrible. I was so embarrassed because I couldn't walk, so they my mom had to carry me to the hospital, and of course we were in the waiting room, and so everyone was staring at me, which only made it worse. And so I'm hiding my cuts, and they start, doing everything to me, putting me on a breathing machine, and so I finally got the courage to show my mom. And I was like, Mom, I need to show you something. And I'm bawling my eyes out, and she's already crying. And she's like, what? And so I move my bracelets, and I show her. And that was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And, sorry. And so it was just really hard for me. And I promised her not to tell the doctors, because I knew that if they knew, they would send me to, I felt like they would send me to an insane asylum. Like, I just felt like I would go to the doctor and I wouldn't come back, and I just couldn't deal with that, and I couldn't take that. And so she promised not to tell anyone, but she made me promise to quit. And so, I quit for a little bit. I quit for a couple months. And everything was okay there for a couple months. And then I'd just get depressed again, and then I couldn't take it anymore. So that all happened 9th grade year, and I kept missing school. I finished school crazily. I mean, my grades were still good, which is crazy because I was barely going to school and I could not focus, but my grades were actually really good. And so then I came to 10th grade, and I still cut. And I was actually getting a lot more suicidal, because there would be times when I would be in my mom's bed having an anxiety attack. One time it was horrible. I honestly felt like I was possessed. Which that sounds crazy, but I used to I would hear people telling me in my head, I need to die, which that sounds insane. But I'd be sitting there and I'd be asking my mom to just kill me, and I'd be just wanting not to be alive anymore. And so my sisters are there trying to comfort me, trying to be there, and they're crying, and my mom's crying. And so, this is gonna be really long, I'm sorry. And so, I remember I still hate the fact that they had to see me go through that. Because, your little sister shouldn't have to deal with that, you know what I mean? And so I started cutting again, and my mom found out, because I would scratch at my face in my sleep, and so I would wake up with sores all over my face. And my mom was like, okay, we're taking you to counseling, which at this point I honestly thought I was going to counseling, but I didn't. My mom sent me to a hospital, a rehabilitation hospital, and so I went there, and I was so mad at my mom. I was so mad, because I felt like we were going to the hospital, or going to the therapist, but we were actually going to the hospital. And so I was so mad at her. I was like, how can you do this to your daughter? And so they put me on medicine, and I hated it there. I hated it so much. I was there for 8 days, and then I came home, and I was home for a little bit, and I refused to cut again. But then one night, I had enough. I was done. I was tired of living, and I wanted to die so many times, but I just never had the courage. And so this time I finally got the courage, and I was getting out of my bed to hang myself. I was gonna hang myself, and I was getting out of my bed, and my sister walked in, and so she just came and she laid with me. But before that, while I was sitting there contemplating doing it, I wrote my journal about how I wanted to die. And so when I fell asleep, I cried myself to sleep. And so when I fell asleep, my sister found my journal and she sent pictures to my mom. So that morning, my mom woke me up saying we're going to the hospital and saying she knew what I wrote. And of course, like now that I think about it, like she didn't know how to handle it. It could have been handled a lot differently, like that morning. And so she called my dad, and I was begging my dad to not make me go. And so I ended up going back, and I was there for 8 months, or not 8 months, 8 days. And then on the 8th day, I was supposed to go home. My mom told me I was going home, but instead I went to long term, and I was there for 4 months. And that was honestly, that helped me so much. It helped me so much. I've been taking my medicine and I've been doing better. The only bad thing is that my 10th grade year, like a lot of my credits, I had to take completely different classes than what I took at the beginning of the year when I came back to school. And so the transition, that was really hard for me. But I got through it, and now, I haven't cut, and this October 2nd will be 3 years. And I still get depressed, and my anxiety still gets really bad. I'm still on medication, but I can honestly say that I'm happier now than I've probably ever been in my life. And I know a lot of you guys that are probably going to watch this are going through the same thing that I went through. And I can honestly say, just keep pushing through everything, okay? You can't give up. You cannot give up. I know you want to. I know you do. Trust me, I wanted to give up so many times, but you can't do it. And just know that I'm always here if you need me. Like, I will talk to anybody, I promise. I've had so many people tell me that I've helped them and I'm an inspiration to them, and I've had people tell me that because of me they didn't kill themselves, and that just makes me so emotional because I never thought that I would even be here to say, or to have people say that I made them not kill themselves. And so I just need you all to take it day by day, okay? That's all you have to do. You just wake up in the morning and you try your best, and then you go to sleep. You don't cut. You don't kill yourself. And you just try to get better day by day. That's all you can do. And I used to starve myself too. Like, I used to not eat. I would eat maybe like one meal every couple of days. And you just have to start eating little by little. Start eating some fruit or like crackers or something and just eat. You can't start eating a hamburger when you haven't eaten in a long time. You just have to take everything day by day. And that sounds crazy, and I keep saying that, but it's true. You don't have to think about what happens in a year from now. You just have to think about what happens today and then just making it to tomorrow. That's all you have to think about, and that's all that matters. And I know you're stressed out, and I know that a lot of you don't have supportive families, but just know that I'm always here for you, always here for you. I will help anyone, and I promise you that you're going to look back at these days, years from now, and you're going to actually be okay. And you're going to see how strong you are. And I don't know why I'm going red, but you're going to see how strong you are, and it's going to mean so much to you. You just have to keep going, okay? I love every single one of you, and you're all amazing people. And it's okay to be different, and it's okay to be yourself. Like, I want you to be yourself. You should be yourself. You dress however you want to dress, and you believe whatever you want to believe. Like, you are you. You decide who you are, okay? Okay. I've almost cried like 7 times, but I just love you guys, every single one of you. And thank you so much for following me if you follow me. If you don't, and if you're just seeing this by chance, then just know that I love you too. And so, yeah. Okay, bye.